Good afternoon. My name is Black Crow Walking. I'm in Australia, and I'm bringing you today A Course of Love by Mari Perrin. We're up to chapter 10, verse 10, and it doesn't matter where you start in this book, you'll get something out of it. It's just changing my life radically, and I just love it. And I want to share it with the world, so thanks for joining me, and let's get started. Verse 10 of chapter 10. Again, but state your willingness, a willingness to believe that you have everything you need, despite the fact that it does not seem so. Your willingness is all that is needed to move you through this stage and to the next. Be encouraged rather than discouraged that God does not grant all your desires here. For these are not your true desires, and the rewards you would choose here as dust to those you will become aware of as you proceed. Imagine if we got everything we wished for. My God. How unhappy would we be? My goodness. Let us talk a moment here of miracles. Simply stated, miracles are a natural consequence of joining. Magic is your attempt to do miracles on your own. In the early stages of your learning, you will be tempted to play a game of make-believe. You will not believe that you are not your body, but you would make believe that you are not. You may then be tempted to believe that because you are pretending you are not your body, you can pretend you do not feel the pain of a headache or the cold of a winter's day, and this pretending may even make you feel a little less pain or a little less cold. But this attempt to fool yourself is welcomed by your separated self, who knows pretending will not make it so. These attempts to fool yourself are based on your lack of understanding rather than your lack of belief. You would not still be reading if you believed you were your body and that alone. Long have you known that there is more to you than flesh and bones. Belief is not your problem. Understanding is. While you believe in God, you do not understand God. While you believe in me, you do not understand how these words have come from me. While you believe in heaven and an afterlife, you do not understand what or where they are. And to believe in something that you do not understand makes you feel peculiar at the least, and delusional at the worst. You want to believe, and so you believe, but you also want to be right about what you believe. The convenient thing about your belief in God, in me, in heaven, and in the afterlife is that you do not think you will be proven wrong here. If you are wrong, you will merely rot away after you have died, and no one will know how wrong you were. If you are wrong, at least you believe in something that brought you comfort and in the end did you no harm. It almost makes me want to laugh. But it's the way we were brought up, wasn't it? Oh, you have to be a good girl. You won't go to heaven. This is not as easily said. This is not as easily said about the concept of not being separate. However, the only thing you find really difficult, is to believe that you are in union with your brothers and sisters right now today. To believe in God without understanding God is one thing. To believe in your union with your neighbour without understanding either union or your neighbour is something else. This belief will not necessarily bring you comfort or do you no harm? What if you believe in the goodness of your neighbour and the belief is unwarranted? What if you are trusting and find that trust to be misplaced? What if you are simply naive and are taken for a fool? What if you are wrong? We have such a fear of being wrong or bad. And the fear is really of other people's judgments. And love doesn't judge. Love is incapable of judging because it sees everything as one energy. You, beloved, are the same energy as me. Therefore, if you judge me, you're judging yourself. And that does no good to anybody, does it? Let us begin to come back, to really come back to knowing we are one energy. It's simple then. It's only when we complicate it with right, wrong, good, bad, fooling ourselves based on belief systems that have been passed down for thousands of generations. And with that belief system, a lack of understanding. And yet, we can believe in things or want to believe in things that we can't see. I remember when I was a child, I so desperately wanted to believe in fairies. And now I do. Yeah, now I do. Don't I, Patricia? If you're listening to this, I love you madly. Anyway, so you might have been brought up to believe in the afterlife, to believe in heaven and hell. I was brought up that way, but now I know that I'm creating heaven or hell every single moment of the day. And for me, if I'm in fear, I'm creating hell. If I'm in heaven, I'm out there with the love bunnies. And it's so much easier to love than it is to hate. It's so much easier to love than it is to be in fear. To believe in something that you do not understand makes you feel peculiar at the least, and delusional at the worst. You want to believe, and so you believe. Do you remember that teenager age when we first thought about what it would be like to be in love? And we had no idea, and we asked people, what's it like to be in love? And they said, oh, you'll know when it happens to you, you'll know. But what's it like to choose to love? What's it like to know that you are the very essence of love and that is what's living inside you? What's it like to be in conflict with that and to be infiltrated by this constant battering of fear that comes from the outside world? And how does that affect your decision to love, your choice to love, your filled up heart that just bursts with love and spills over into every relationship, in the joining and the union of everything? When you attempt to fool yourself based on fear, based on lack of understanding, you bring through that into your world and you try and convince everybody else of your opinion about something or your judgment about something. Well, maybe it's time to remember that you're more than flesh and bones. You're more than muscles and sinews. You're more than gurgling tummies and headaches. You're more than that. And think who is looking out behind these eyes, and who is listening with these ears, and who is touching with these hands. Bringing yourself back to believing in something you can't see, and that is love, and yet love expresses itself so beautifully in such a seen way and is able to be seen. You only have to look in a child's eyes to see love. Sometimes you see it in a grandparent's eyes as they look at their child or their beautiful grandchildren. Just have to go out into nature, beloved, to be filled up with this beautiful love, because nature vibrates at the rate of love, and it will calm you. It will bring you peace and happiness and joy. It will bring you union with your neighbour. I know when I go for a walk in the morning on the path and everybody says hello, everybody. And it's because we're out in nature and we're experiencing an open heart, a heart that is in union with love and in union with everything. So when your neighbour walks up, of course you say hello, of course you smile, of course you greet them. All right, beloved, I think we'll leave the rest till tomorrow. Just remember that I love you and that you are love, embodying love. You are just love. Every part of you is love. Every part of your being is made of love. So it's not just the inside. Every part of you has vast intelligence and responds to that love that resides within it. I hope you spend the rest of your day enjoying being love. Bye for now.